All right, cool. Yeah, welcome to another episode of HipPodHedz. I'm No Sage, got Novak as always, and we got a special guest here from way back in the day, MC Crave, my man.
Yo,
Welcome to the show. We appreciate you.
good.
We're gonna talk about a lot of hip hop stuff. I know you're gonna talk about graffiti, rhyming, boxing. You're just basically a connoisseur of hip hop, and I think I just wanted to give you a quick platform to kind of like talk about your project coming up this month. And you got a show as well. You got a lot of things cooking this month, my man.
Appreciate. Yeah, thanks to affiliate of yours, affiliates of yours. I'm back in the game, and
Yes, sir.
we got to perform, and some people liked what they heard, and it's just it feels really good. Um, so we have something coming up with the hairpin, and it's crazy because like we wanted to perform there, and they were like, oh, we're really booked, and then we performed it, and some people heard us, and they're like, "You guys should come perform." But
Yes.
and that happened twice now. That almost, and it's gonna happen a third time. So it's really exciting. It feels like this is the most gratifying shows I've like since the Third Islanders first dropped our first show. These are the most gratifying performances to me. Um, like I'm preparing really hard. Like I've rehearsed. I haven't rehearsed this hard for a show ever. I don't think for these shows. I
It's gonna
think
be dope, man. I can't wait. It's what is it, April 19th at the Hairpin Arts Center, right?
right, precisely. We like this guy's pushed me to another level of rap. I feel like I feel like I wasn't I wasn't pushing myself hard enough. Oh, my bad. Low battery, but I'm plugged in.
Oh,
I wasn't
dope.
pushing myself hard enough, and
I appreciate that because like the one you're referring to is Doc Watson, who we've had on the show, episode 5. Check him out.
oh,
But
really? Yeah, yeah, man. Probably one of the most talented MCs I've ever heard, and definitely one like I don't want to, much love to the Third Islanders forever, but like me personally, like I don't know if I've ever done a project with somebody this talented, like from rhyming in music. Like he's a great musician, but like the dude is like every time we do a song, like he makes me better. He makes me a better MC. So this is like it's crazy because like, bro, I feel this is my best rapping, but like you ever listen to a Little Brother album and you be like you be like, Big Pooh didn't have to be on that song. Like he could have I could have easily gone with another Fonte verse, or you listening to or you listen to an Outkast record, and sometimes you're like, really, I didn't need another verse from Big Boy. I could have really gone for another
Three
Andre verse.
stacks. Yeah.
Or same thing with like Mos and Talib. You might be like, Talib's like, man, Mos could have really murdered another verse. Like I feel like I'm them now, and it's like this dude is like, to me he's like Fonte, he's like Mos, he's like he just, I just don't know what I'm doing on these records with him. I'm just like, I feel so fortunate and blessed. It's like I, no matter how much I try, like this dude always leaves me like my jaw dropped when he's recording. So like the excitement I have when I hear him rap, like I try not to show too much of it because like I don't want to be like a puppy in the lab, but like I know that other people are gonna have it, especially like to use your term, connoisseurs of hip hop are gonna love Doc Watson's contribution on this album, because this dude, he doesn't, he put it all out there. Like he doesn't leave anything behind. I like This dude's a phenomenal MC, and it's just like an honor to rap with this dude, man.
That's dope, man. I mean, I just can't wait. So again, yeah, if you in the Chicago area, Hairpin Arts Center, April 19th. What is the address? 2810 North Milwaukee, right? Is that considered Wicker Park, or where's that at?
No, it's Logan Square.
All right.
Right.
And Hairpin's like a really like community based venue. Like I'm affiliated with this place called Any Squared, which is like they do a lot of art, and they have a lot of shows at Hairpin, and they're like I could easily have artwork up during the show. I just haven't been pushing for group shows as much, but hopefully you guys could show up. I think Rockwell's gonna show up, but he doesn't have any songs he's performing, but hopefully he'll join us on stage. But Iowa Rockwell is going to be performing with us at Reggie's. He's on the album at least twice, and I'm really excited. I'm learning what songs he's on right now. They're like it's crazy because like I pushed myself to a new level of rapping, and it's like recording it was one thing, but performing it is much harder. Like as you know, but I haven't gotten like I barely started getting acclimated to Age of Aquarius when I started trying to learn this album, and if you heard what we did on Distinctive Energy, you see it's a real complex lyrical style we have, and we're very meticulous on our play on words, and like we I don't like giving out all the secrets, but man, we have to rehearse and practice, and we refine the album. Like we just put the album to bed Tuesday because like I was still changing stuff. I was still changing. Like we're both like we're both like that tedious, like that like like it's 3 words off. We got to go back in, and like I don't like being redundant. If I say the same word twice in the song, and it doesn't have it's not a homonym type something or a metaphor, Rockwell will tell you it's not either it's not going on the album, or we got to go back in and I got to find a synonym. Like I can't I like it'll kill me to be redundant. So like I said spitting twice on one song, and like I couldn't sleep, and like and I was like I gotta find another word. Like I it's unacceptable to me. Like I do this, man. You know, like I take this shit so seriously. Like I like it's not just that. It's that like I'm not just a hater. I don't want to think of myself as a hater. I'm a super tough critic, and like I'm going to talk shit, and if I say I think 50 could have come better on that verse, or I think I think Fife was better than everybody else on that verse, I'm going to hold myself to those standards too, and I'm not just talking shit to talk shit. Like if I say that's booty and that's whack about Ludacris's new joint or Snoop's new joint, like you best believe I said that about some joints that we had in the lab, and that are never going to see the light of day. I'm in another band, and in another group, and I'm not trying to talk about them right now because we should have had our stuff together to be performing alongside Supernatural, Iowa, and Watson, and the thing is, like, I can calmly and politely and collectively, Watson, Rockwell, and I will disagree on some music, and it'll be a calm discussion. And the song might not be good enough and make the album, and we can talk it out. But in the other group, because like the other people are like, no, like, and we used to have these problems back in the day, but in the other group, like, no, that's a banger. And it's like, no, man, that song needs a lot of work. It's not any good. And it turns into people yelling at each other and into a whole mess. And people are like, you're a hater. And it's like, nah, like, I'm super critical of my sound. And if I tell you this isn't good enough for us to put out, it's not good enough for us to put out. I know what's good enough. And the same, and there, a lot of Chicago artists have this deafness, like the same Chicago artist as Sub T that'll be saying Rick Ross is whack, and that's their opinion. They're entitled to it. And you know, Rick Ross comes on and they're like, he's whack. And then I listen to their album to put it on a compilation. And like, and I'm like, well, 2 or 3 of these songs are whack to me. Like, could have been much better. And I like this one the most. Like, this is, first of all, I've heard that about my album 500-600 times. I've developed thick enough skin to understand, trying to understand what people are talking about. And secondly, like I said, like, I don't say anything to anybody I wouldn't say to myself or about a professional artist. But like, sometimes local dudes in Chicago, you tell them that, they lose their fucking mind. and it's like, bro, you don't think like a couple songs in your album could possibly be whack, and you're just some dude. Like, this is your like second album ever. You're just some, 22-year-old dude from Chicago, and like, you losing your mind because I'm like, I think, like, I just played my album for like this one MC. Like, I sent him a couple tracks that you guys heard off. I sent him Age of Aquarius. He only liked the 2 tracks with J.R. Black and MC Epic, I think, and he said everything else is whack. Like, that was a quote, and like, it didn't bother me at all, not in the slightest. Even though I had put him on a compilation once, when I was doing hip hop compilations from everybody in the city called Cherry Bomb, but that's another story. But it didn't bother me because, like, he sent me his album, and that's exactly how I felt about his album. like, and I was like, we both are like, we have completely different tastes. We might come from the same rap background, but like, our ears are attuned to different things, and our mindsets are completely different. And like, I wanted to say the same thing to him, but I didn't want to get into an argument. I just, you know what I'm saying? But I just, instead of that, I just said to him, like, I think these 2 tracks are your dopest tracks, and I just kept it moving. But like, I can easily understand why some people would think I'm whack, and like, I just would hope for those same people to understand why I might think they're whack. But it's usually not going to be that way. People get emotionally attached to the art, and when you're battling, those turn into physical things, and that's usually a problem. And like, that's why I like more freestyles, like, based competition instead of battling. But then like, that gets into, like, I don't really want to diss open mics, but I do want to say this though about open mics though. Like, since I've been to so many, y'all know this. Like, I've been to a lot of open mics. I set up a lot of open mics from Chicago to Wisconsin to Dalton. Like, I've been in a lot of open mics. Brooklyn, a lot, and Miami, quite a bit. And like, to me, if you come in and you spit a written, and you have prepared music for it, that's spoken word. Yeah. Like, I don't care how hard you think it is, just that's spoken word. Like, there's, and I know there's differences in interpretation of freestyle from New York to Chicago, but like, oh,
is your battery gonna go out? You right?
it's going in and out. I know there's like some differences in opinion of what freestyles are in Chicago and New York, but like those parameters, it's too much. And so like a lot of people, and I feel like I'm so fluid with my freestyle, I'm trying to have fun with it, and people often be like, "Are you a spoken word artist? Like, are these really?" It's like, man, and I'll tell you right now, in 20 years, I've never. The one time I spit a written was once at Sub T. I decided I'm going to try to spit a written. I've never spit a written. I've always spit off the top every time. People have always assumed it's written, and to me, it's a compliment. It's like, yeah, I know I'm that cold that you actually think I wrote this. Like, I know I'm that cold. Like, but the funny thing is, when we were in Third Islanders, after I would do that at Sub T, I was on some Jay-Z shit. Then I would go home and write that shit. I was like, that was cold. Now I'm gonna go home and write this down. And then what I actually do, part of my writing process is then I write those lyrics down, put them in a pad or a book or your phones now. And then when I'm actually on the mic, that's my guide, but I'm still kind of freestyling. And that's how I record a lot. And a lot of people just wouldn't believe it. And my first album is 99% freestyle. And people are like, no. And I'm like, no, really? Like, I didn't even have writtens for that one. Like, I literally just walked up to the mic, and people like, no way. And I'm like, wait. And it's like, and it's like that. And the Third Islander albums are all written from freestyles I memorized from mostly Sub T. And it's like, I had to be there anyway. I'm working. Like, and like half them songs is when I didn't have time to get off the door when it was packed and busy. And I'm listening to all these whack ass rappers, and I'm literally like, you know, I would have said, oh shit, and napkins and envelopes. And I get home and I throw those. When I had the White Castle CRÄVE case, you know, and I literally be writing lyrics on napkins and envelopes, throw that shit in the CRÄVE case, and then we get to the studio. Remember, we get to Static, and I'm just piecing that shit together and freestyling on the mic. And so like I feel like the essence of that shit, like I really have it, and now I'm even more disciplined, like in memorizing and writing, and I have a lot more different styles of rapping that I've studied and incorporated, and in this album, we're gonna show off a dynamic amount of different styles of rap. Like we're doing it on purpose. Like we're trying to show them, like, yo, there's more than one way to skin a cat, like metaphorically. Like we're really showing people like we can rap well different ways. Because I there's some MCs that I love in Chicago, and like they're my number one, but they have one way of rapping, and I'll listen to their album, but I'm only gonna listen to it once. And of course, there's some fantastic albums that one-time listens. But it's like, I should want to listen to you a lot more, and it's like, every song is so similar, the rapping style, and I'm petrified to fall into that trap. So like this next project is really different, and then my album after that is a completely different vibe and feel, even though some of the subject matter is still kind of similar, but
I can't wait though for the Supernatural album with you and Doc Watson, April 20th, the day after the show at Hairpin.
Yeah,
man, I've got to listen to some of it when I was at Iowa Rockwell studio, and then I think even Doc Watson had like a Google Drive at one point that I still had access to, and I was like listening to some of it. And he's like, "Hey man, get out of that drive, bro. I can't listen to all of it." I'm like, "All right," because I literally haven't got a chance to hear a lot of it.
I'm curious. I want to ask you though, like how, like not your feeling, but like your viewpoint from, like, you were in the studio when we were working on Gift of Flight, and like you saw me like spit a crazy hook that everybody cringed and was like, yo, that's inappropriate. Like we're not comfortable like being in a group with you if you're gonna rap that, you know, like even you were like, is this really happening? Is he gonna say that on the mic? Is that those words are being recorded? And then like then I was just like, I think I'll just like you saw like I was like, I'll just do something different then, and that song popped out, and I didn't plan on being the first verse, and like just you seeing the studio process and then you seeing the live show, like is it how you imagined it would be? Is that's my question.
No, man. I mean, like you two, you and Doc is definitely like the recipe for disaster in a lot of good ways. Like I just can't wait, bro. Like I mean, like when I heard the one track off of Doc Watts's album, The Distinctive Energy, I'm like, could this actually be an album? Just you two actually doing the project together? And then lo and behold, y'all were like cooking up something like behind the scenes without me even knowing about it now.
That's Rockwell. That's completely Rockwell. He had the master plan. It was supposed to be 3 songs. we were supposed to do 3 songs together, one on each other's albums, and then one up in the air to drop as a single. And then Rockwell was like, why not make it 6 and make it a demo? And like I'm like, all right, but I want to get back, like I want to put my album out. Like I was done with my album, and I'm like, my album. And Rockwell's like, your album, it's good, but it's got a couple of holes in it. Why don't you guys, why don't you make it 9 tracks? And I'm like, y'all keep adding tracks, but these are bangers. And so Rockwell is so talented, man. I'm gonna tell you this, on Age of Aquarius and on this album, we said no to no beats. Like he puts a beat on and it's like, let's do it. Like there it is. It's like he hit a home run every time on these these 2 projects. And on my next album with Rockwell, I didn't turn down any beats. So it's like it's really great working with a producer at that talent level. But me also have being somebody who has produced albums for other people and for myself, like I've produced more albums for other people than I have for myself. And I can tell you, it's a joy to work with an artist that like trusts you and knows that like, all right, just let him do his thing. Like we'll take all these beats in the order and the way you want them. Like you're the producer. Like it's audacity to me with some artists that are gonna bounce around. It's like this producer has a plan, and if they're diverse enough, like it's going to sound however you want it or need it to sound. So like in these last 3 projects, I can honestly tell you, I said no to 0 Iowa Rockwell beats. I don't tell him any kind of order. I don't change the name of the beats unless he thinks there's a better title for it to make it catchier. Like he names all the beats. He comes up with the order, and like I've never turned down a beat. Everything he plays me is what you hear. Like I hear it and I write to it. So like the electricity, like it is the energy level is really high because it's the way it was intended to be. The project is coming out the way it was intended to be on both sides. And it's like, I want people to know I'm an asshole. Like I'm a snob. Like I am a hip hop elitist. Like I have turned down beats from some of the baddest producers in Chicago. And it's just like, I'm extremely blessed and lucky to know Rockwell and Video Dave and Smoke Benito. But like I turned down a lot of beats from a lot of people. I'm not gonna name names this time because that's rude. But but yeah, there's 3 or 4 producers who didn't make Age of.
I think his battery just went out.
Oh man. Yeah, he's flowing right now.
Oh, he's cooking. If for some reason we don't get him back, I think he did say a lot about the project. I just wanted to say a word about Iowa Rockwell for a moment, because Iowa Rockwell like produced the whole album Age of Aquarius, and that was the first album in a string of like, I want to say it was like 5 or 6 albums that he just kept doing, not for himself, right? So CRÄVE is Iowa Rockwell's cousin. He produced the whole album of Age of Aquarius. Then he did like a J.R. Black album. He did like a Ari the Indigo album. He did a project for me and Doc Watson. So like Iowa Rockwell just kind of like got into this like obsession about producing for other people, even though he's like a dope lyricist himself, and he has like a lot of albums that he's done, you know, even before that. So yeah, it's just been a pleasure to kind of like work with him and just be able to kind of, you know, be
Nah, the sound is awesome. Like I love Bob and Weave off that sound Aquarius, man. The Age of Aquarius. That Bob and Weave is sick. That's you got you got Dave on that track. You got Video Dave on that track is pretty good. Their chemistry is good. I mean, every song, even Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is nice. So I started listening to it. Like when you said, you know, Crave was coming on, I started, you know, I started listening to it, and I was like, yeah, this is sick. I mean, we could do a part 1 and part 2 if you wanted to. I mean, that might be the best. Tell them to do a part 2. We pick up. We edit this one, and tell them to do a P2.
all right, cool. That's
Because
perfect.
I want to get the graffiti.
Yeah, he was flowing, he was cooking, he was giving us some gems, but I think we got enough for the part 1 episode, and yeah, we'll have him back for part 2. I think what I also wanted to kind of like sort of wrap up was that he was dropping the Third Islander's name a bunch. So basically, I used to be in a crew with Crave and Iowa Rockwell back in the day, and Video Dave, and that was kind of like the days of me at St. Ben's High School, right? So I went to high school with MC Crave's brother and Iowa Rockwell, right? So MC Crave's brother is Video Dave. But it was tripped out when we were recording before we when we were talking before we hit record. I didn't realize that Crave went to Gordon.
I know.
I was actually at Gordon, I believe 93 and 94, because I was there for freshman and sophomore. And then I pivoted to St. Ben's for class of 97. And
you there, Mike Bacon, everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how I know Mike Bacon, all of them. A small world.
Right. So Mike Bacon, obviously we had him on our podcast too. But it was tripped out because I probably crossed paths with Crave before I even like fell into like the pocket of Iowa Rockwell and Video Dave, and then we all sort of like we're like collabing on a lot of music even after high school, basically. So small world, small Chicago world for sure.
Oh, it's crazy because I looked at him, I was like, you had dreads.
Yes.
I was like, I look like, oh, you was man, he was, oh man, outside Sub T, there's no Rashad Chamberlain and Vale and all them, or his guy, and then his girl, everybody, they all know each other. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, this is nuts, man. We almost need to have a 6 degree separation show. You bring everybody on and figure out everybody knows each other. We do like we do 6 screens on here, like you know, like we're playing Celebrity Squares or something like that.
Yeah, no doubt, 100%.
The story of MC,
all the MCs, and then actually the other connection after all that high school stuff, I still stayed in touch with all them. Video Dave went to I believe SIU, and Iowa Rockwell went to another college.
You know about Shies Up?
No, what's that?
Shies Up is another group. That's Jason Dawson's group.
Oh, stop, for real?
Yeah, it's a small universe. I know them.
That's dope. Because I was gonna say that Video Dave was messing around with Open Mike Eagle at I think Carbondale. And that's how they kind of linked up. And Video Dave is actually doing a lot of stuff.
That's like 3 artists came out of Carbondale, and they Shies Up came out of Carbondale. You got you know, I know what Video Dave was. I was like, that's his brother. I'm like,
yeah,
wow.
They're like
small universe,
super artistic.
Yeah, because we could go by Sub T a lot and just just see the freestyle battles and stuff like that. And I remember these cats were starting up. And then you had Pages, you had Cinnabar. The whole block was just hip hop artists. It was like that movie Kick Ass. The whole block basically was on something.
It's kind of sad though, because I literally was driving down Milwaukee earlier this morning, and
had change.
Yeah, bro, like
it's so yuppie now.
We used to like kick it at and flow besides Subterranean. it was the Blue Note, but I think now
I
it's called
remember
Debonair at the time.
Debonair.
Debonair now.
Yeah.
And across from there, which obviously people know, like Double Door, like turned into the Yeti, right? Or Yeti.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that, like when you say you're like all yippied out and all, you know, hipstered out or whatnot.
Like High Fidelity's still over there. That's the vinyl shop and everything like that. And I go to Sugar Records. You probably saw Sugar over there.
Right.
Yeah, man. The universe is yuppied out, man. You got Adidas selling stuff nobody wears. You got designer coffee on the corner. Then you got shops that open up at 4 o'clock and sell pizza and clothes.
Right.
You know, then the Kira's around the corner. You know, I ran those Kira stores, IT. So it's a small universe. I just get all the hip hop artists coming through because their girls are buying cheap clothes from Akira. So
that's exactly what was
give me
happening.
that knockoff Gucci. I'm like, that ain't Gucci, that's Poochie, man. Man, it's a small world, man. Very small world. I just go to Bro Bagel. You know about Bro Bagel around the corner?
Oh no.
You never been to Bro Bagel?
No, I haven't.
You walk up by the Atomic Bagel, man. It's like a hot link on a piece of the bagel is so hot, man. You have to if you drink something with caffeine and it burns the roof of your mouth. Yeah, you gotta check out Bro Bagel, man. It's right around the corner.
Look out. I gotta peep it.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
it's still a poppin' art scene, but yeah.
It's different. Remember, Red Dog is gone, as you know. And then the Real World House is right there too.
Oh man.
We got in the Real World House a few times.
Oh shit. That's wild.
Yeah, we tried going on TV. It was hilarious. We were like, let's go in the Real World House. There's been a currency exchange across the street. You remember that?
Yep.
Man, small crazy world, man. I'm over there. It's like 6 degrees of separation. I'm over there walking around. I'm like, man, that's probably walking around, or it'd be nuts.
I mean, yeah, no, exactly. Because obviously, like we were sort of in the same school circles to a certain extent. We really didn't link up until college. So yeah,
the backpack. That's how because Rashad would go over there with the shell toes and the backpacks and the headphones, and they break dancing. Oh, it's crazy, man. Like there's so many similarities between everybody. He wanted to be a b-boy. And then, he was into the break and then trying to do graffiti. And then, he was doing graffiti. And I'm like, this is nuts when you think about it.
All for the culture, man.
Dude. I know, man. Too bad the culture right now is a little Uzi, man. I'm like, this I want to rock shit got to go away, man. I'm like, what is about the sound of Philly? I'm like, that Philly doesn't sound like that. Yeah, my kid think that's the greatest song ever. I'm like, are you something in your throat? What the fuck is this? How do you have a song that goes for 2 minutes with like no real words and sounds? And everything comes from the lower intestine on that song. You ain't noticed that every sound comes from his lower intestine.
They're on that polishing their lyrics up like Crave was talking about, man. Not thinking about the culture, man.
Yeah, ain't no culture with that, man. But yeah, that song might win a Grammy. I'm like, what the hell?
Unfortunately, you might be right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Kendrick got to putting his soul in albums, and I Want to Rock comes out. Yeah, that Never Let Me Down is sick. No, Don't Count Me Out. That Don't Count Me Out beat is sick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What I hate about that relationship, what they got going on over there, is like, I feel like Chicago's scene is so big, and it makes you angry that you want to focus on LA, you want to focus on New York. Chicago, you want to go yay, and you want to go coming, and everybody else just lives here. I mean, you got, it's nuts. You think about, even back in the day with Nuisance and everything used to be around Milwaukee. Remember from Nuisance for Psychodrama?
Yeah.
Psychodrama, Buck and Saw used to be around there rapping, dude. That's how crazy it was on Milwaukee Avenue.
Man.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean,
I didn't realize they would go down that block too.
Yeah, Buck and Saw, Snipers. Remember Snipers used to be around. You had like the dudes and Do It Die. They live not too far from me. Kucha Conflict. You had who else you had? It was a lot of people, man. Like they Do It Die. They were different. That's all you gotta say. When they get to rapping, and that was that West Side flow. You be like, everybody ain't got a Cadillac, man. What's going on? I mean, but yeah, Brad, I remember the Brad used to rock the parties at our grammar school in the lower hall. Yep, 60644. Her dad used to dance. Her father used to walk around the block dancing to her songs. I'm like, no, call him Poppy.
So, that's why I still gotta hold a respect for Doc Watson and Iowa Rockwell and obviously MC Crave.
You should do a Chicago show. Do a Chicago pod. Bring it, we bring Chicago artists on the pod. Let them tell their stories, and we just sit back and listen. This stuff is crazy, man. And I was like, I'm thinking like, that's that dude's out there whooping people's ass. Every time I think about 8 Mile. I think about Cat Pfeiffer. Every time I think about
that's it, bro. Plenty of stories, tons of stories.
Oh man.
I mean, I think we'll definitely have MC Crave when he maybe after he does his show with Doc Watson, we'll definitely get to hear like the recap on how all that went down because I'm planning on going too. So
where's that? That's on where's that site at? Logan Square?
Yeah, Hairpin Art Center, 2810 North Milwaukee. So,
That ain't nowhere. Yeah, it's good vinyl around there too. Real good vinyl.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've been on that tear lately. I gotta stop.
You got it, man. Every time I talk to you, bro, new vinyl pickups, my man.
One day I'm gonna get on the pod and be like, "Is that your background?" That's all the vinyl behind me.
Vinyl art.
Yeah, I'm buying Mobb Deep up right now, man. I just bought Murder Music on vinyl the other day.
Oh man, is that like a re-release or just something you found?
No, I found it. I found the actual release.
Oh, that's dope.
It's like 33 grams, man. You put on the scale and weigh. It's heavy.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's when it has got
Mm-hmm.
authenticity to it.
Yeah, they got good stuff though, man. I'm just, what I've been doing lately is just, music wise. I mean, ain't nothing really out there, man. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm stuck in 97 to about 2005 right now. I mean, 2023 has been bad musically. Have you noticed what's dropped this year? Besides you guys,
not much.
No, you guys bringing all the music. I mean,
all right, man. I'm actually curious if damn, I should ask Crave when we get him back on. Like, can they actually put their joint on vinyl? That would be sweet.
I mean, because Vail did it with I was sure the Morse code vinyl.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I got it. He pressed it. He sold it to me for $42. I'm like, bastard. He jumps out the car and Vail's a small dude. He's like, I got that vinyl for joint for you. I'm like, what? I'm like, I was like, Vail, I know you, man. What's up, bro? Somebody else walked up, he sold a vinyl, man. The Morse code vinyl. It's pretty cool. He got pictures on Facebook of people standing there with him with the vinyl. I started laughing. I was like, man, I'm like, you got big time now. You selling vinyl, huh? At the back of the caddy.
Yeah, that's actually another topic I was gonna have somebody else on the podcast talk about, sort of like how the different media, like tapes, cassettes, and obviously CDs. And now we're in an era where like vinyl is now selling more than CDs, and that like hasn't happened.
I mean, what it is right now is that vinyl went like crazy right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's some new level stuff. It didn't used to be like this. People weren't buying, people were buying those Crossley turntables, and that like changed the game. You know what I mean? Like, the argument we had earlier is that people buying vinyls, but they need to stop buying those mid Jordans, those Jordan mids, instead of buying the highs. Shire was bitching about that on Facebook today. I said, what's wrong with you, man? He goes talking about I would never, ever speak to you if you buy some mid Jordans. I'm like, stop it, man. He's serious about it, man. I got a
purist out there, bro. Them purists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mid Jordans. I'm like, man, stop. It's not that serious. You just don't wear them. I'm like, man, whatever. Yeah, he's a different dude, man. Different human. I mean, him and Vail, and I'm trying. I don't have it downstairs. Let me see. I mean, because what Vail tries to do, he tries to hide his website, which is hilarious.
He's not shy enough to pop out and sell you a vinyl, but he wants to hide on these social media streets.
Oh yeah, man, he's all over, man. Here, yeah, it's a picture of it right here. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad if you do a vinyl pressing. You know, do one, man. Do one. I want the vinyl. I mean, it's like it'd be hot, man. Because I think that he's also Crave also knows. You know, Crump. That dude. You know, Darius Crump. That's another dude that's on the scene that's pretty big.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he know. I think he knows them. He knows everybody. So it's one of those things where, yeah, you see my screen. It's like you see exactly what this dude is into. So you probably can see it right now. So yeah, so this is when he did the vinyl release party. He made a video of him going to Chase and taking out money to buy vinyl. He's a fool, man. You still there, Jay?
I think it's still trying to load up. Let me see.
Yeah. Oh, I hate when it does this. Yeah, it might have. I think it. What? Okay, you can see it now, probably.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. So yeah, so that's the vinyl down there. This is him as he went to the 8th.
Oh.
Yeah, that's his old school Cadillac. I tell him shout out to I need him to start, you know, yeah, he's in the background. There's other cat that tag over there. Then they did the scene when they tore books up and put them on the ground. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, this is what Vail does.
There it is.
Yeah, this is the other joint that's coming to Griffin, Indiana. So they got Rhyme Fest 3 going on out there. Yeah, he told me about this one. So that's the Indiana cats are different. That's all I gotta say. They real different. There's you might know Gerald. You know Big Dog Gerald.
I don't think so.
He was at Gordon for a second.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. Here you go. King Chaz, Gerald, Big Dog. He has many names. So this dude, he ended up going to Gordon and transferring over to Weber. Oh. So he was there 2 years too. I think he might have been there right after. So he's into this. He's into everything. So yeah, Gerald sings and everything else and raps. I'm like, come on, man. Oh, you see there's some, you know, Chicago got a lot of interesting artists, man. As you already know.
I believe it. Renaissance man.
Yeah, he took down his other stuff. Yeah, let me do this. Let me take care of a few things work related really quick before I close my eyes. Tomorrow I got the Passion play tomorrow morning. Let's go.
All right, no worries. That's
I got the Passion of Christ tomorrow morning. It'll be interesting.
Oh man.
Yeah, Mackenzie got a roll.
Wow. They're actually doing that play? Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're doing that play. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Oh no, yeah, I think actually my oldest has like a similar thing like that too at church.
Yeah, we got that going on. So we'll see. Yeah. Let me do this then. What I'll do is I'm gonna take care of a few things, that stuff. And then let me know when you want to do part 2.
Cool.
And then if you want to do all Chicago artists, we can put something together because it'd be interesting to get these guys on squares, man. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, you know, the stories here about we call sub T.
Sub T stories.
Stories from sub T.
All right. Cool. I guess you want to close this out, man?
I got it. Yeah, thank everybody for listening to part 1 of this episode. We're gonna get Crave back on. He had an iPad problem, but he'll be back. We blame it on Apple and Steve Jobs. Rest in peace. Anyway, definitely check us out any and everywhere we have podcasts. And thank you for listening.
All right. Peace. You too busy kicking fools out of some team, my man.
Right. That too, yeah. I keep forgetting. We're kicking bags.
So dope. Yeah, I guess we can just kick it off. I apologize for my background chatter here.
Good.
but I think we could probably just get it rolling. So let's see here. Crave, you got enough battery, bro?
Yeah, I got it plugged in.
They're like, where you go? You're like, he dead.
And it wouldn't come back on. It was like, nah, I warned you. It was like,
Right. I'll just kick us off. So yes, welcome to another amazing episode of HipPodHedz. I am No Sage, along with Novek, as always, talking about our favorite hip hop moments. I am on these streets, as you can hear from the outside chatter, live prodding right now. But part 2 with Crave, aka Captain Hook, back in the house.
Sir.
What's up, man?
yes, sir. Thanks for remembering that.
Yes, sir. I reached deep in the bag for your AKAs. Yo,
Right.
I got plenty of things to talk to you about, but there's 3 in particular. One, you dropped a new album with Doc Watson. Super amazing. We're gonna get into that.
Thank you.
2, you got a show coming up this weekend. We got to talk about that.
Right.
And finally, I wanted to circle back because I didn't get to talk to you in part 1 about this, about your unabashed love for Phife Dawg.
Oh, it's both. It goes both ways with me and Phife.
Right. I
think,
feel it.
So what do you want to cover first?
Let's talk about the show, because obviously it's kicking off this Saturday. Where's it going to be at? I think Reggie's, right?
It'll be at Reggie's, the front room, which I don't know what that means. I've been in all the rooms. I just don't know the labels of the rooms. I'm mad excited because I'm not gonna front or lie. Like I've been really jealous and envious of other people that got to perform at Reggie's, even though it's not like the fanciest looking venue, and it's actually kind of retroactive, you know, and kind of antiquated to be polite, but it's got heart and this vibe and this feel that I respect it a lot, and I've been trying to get, ever since we used to do stuff, like I've had my eye on it, and then it only grew, like, man, I want to perform here. And I've hung out there a couple of times, and just the vibe to me is unmatched in Chicago, and it's so versatile. It's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's super progressive or the dopest ish ever, but it's like, man, I'm hungry, I'm gonna grab some food, and then like, or I'm gonna go listen to this other band real quick, I'll be right back. Or there's like, yo, before we go, I'm gonna go buy some records. And then there's a whole thing, the rooftop, like, to me, it's like, it's so Chicago, like, go listen to a DJ, grab some food, drinks, like shoot a little hoops, like, and just the length of time it's been going, like the Reggie's tradition, like, I'm flattered to be a part of it. So like, I feel very indebted to Green Lights, very, very much. Like, I'm proud of them for getting it for their release party too. And I shouldn't say like proud, but like, I am though. I'm proud of them as a group. And you know what? I meant to bring this up, man. Hey, do they not remind you of us, like in Third Islanders, bro? Like at that Golden Dagger show, I was having flashbacks. Like, these dudes sound like us. And the guitarist was at our first show. The Green Lights guitarist was at the first Third Islanders show at the Note, because he was always there. Like, his best friend was the manager. So RB, the guitarist for Green Lights, and you know, he's a very reserved dude. He's very critical, and I'm real critical. I critique a lot of people. People call me a hater, and I embrace it because it's funny. But I don't really hate people. You know, there's a few, but I don't really hate most groups. I feel like everybody might need critique at one point, and if you see it, like, I don't know. I went to art school for years, and like, you get critiqued, bro. You know, by your peers, and like, it never feels good. But then when you do your next assignment, it's just like, I'm gonna show these motherfuckers I heard you, like, you know, like, and you fix it, and then you're gonna get critiqued again, but you know you improved. So it's like I welcome the critiques, and RB is a dude that critiqued me a lot because he felt comfortable doing it. But after the performance at the Note, he was like, y'all got something, you know. He was like, y'all got something. And then he saw me painting live once at the Note, and he pulled me aside and he's like, you know, I don't like most of the shit you do. And I was like, thanks. And he was like, but that painting was on point. Like you're no joke. And I was like, thanks, you know. And like, so you know, and the funny thing is, speaking more Third Islanders, his best friend was the manager, and his best friend heard me rapping, and I'm the doorman. You know what I'm saying? Like he was saying, like my job's to, you know, be security, and so like I'll be at the Note and Subterranean. I worked at both on both hip hop nights, both open mic nights. I was working, and I'm a dude who I got perfect attendance at Gordon Tech. You know, all 4 years. So like I don't miss days at work, especially like it's hip hop. Like I was going to be there anyway. You know what I'm saying? But like I'll be at the door, and there's so many whack MCs just going and getting on the mic, and I'll just say to one of the doormen, yo man, you need to watch this door for like 5-10 minutes. And I'll get on the mic, and you know, my freestyle is, I freestyled most of Supernatural, most of my first album, it's freestyles. So even my second album, Age of Aquarius, that's a second version of it with different beats produced by Iowa Rockwell. I had already recorded most of the album, most of it, not every verse, with this other producer I went to Gordon with, this graffiti writer named Task, who's an incredible producer also, and with this other graffiti writer who's an incredible graffiti writer, one of the best in the States, like top 10. This cat, in my opinion, this cat Yams, and he can freestyle too. But but we never released it. We all started beefing, and it never happened. So Rockwell was like, yo, if you got some heat, I'll re-record it for you. So like almost all my albums are mostly freestyle. So when I get on the mic at the open mic night, like I tear these dudes up. And RB from Green Lights, like he told, he and Ronnie were impressed, and Ronnie started DJing at the manager of the Note started DJing at other clubs around the city. He would just have me go with him and freestyle, and that got me like really into like trying to perform at a lot more clubs. And those guys had a lot of respect for Reggie's, and they would be like, oh, you'll never get in here, like you guys aren't going to get a show here. And so for all of us to be at Reggie's this Saturday, man, it's I hate using it, I hate saying this, I feel like a goofy, but it's like a dream come true, man. Like it feels goofy, but this is like a dream come true. I've been rehearsing like pretty hard for this show. Like I really want to impress people. I want to make it like one of the best shows people have been at, you know.
Yo, that's super dope. May 27th at like 8 p.m., right? At Reggie's?
Right. I'm glad. I didn't know it was that early, but that's good.
Yo, so like, yeah, you with Green Lights, Fury, like every time I hear them cats, like I get energized. They're all amazing. I think I seen P-Rock and CL Smooth actually perform at Reggie's, so that definitely is a historic joint. Novek, have you ever seen anybody perform there before?
Yeah, I know about P. Rock and Sales School. I tried to get in that night. I know what that is. It's like it's right around the corner off of that Wabash or that state.
Yeah.
Right before you hit Cermak.
Cermak. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Damn, they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Camp Blow opened for them as well, man.
What?
Camp Blow did them, and they did House of Blues in the same week when they were in town.
Where was I? Oh wow, that's mind blowing.
No, yeah, but I totally echo what you're saying about Reggie's. I never got to perform there in the Third Islander days when I was doing music with you, so it's dope to hear you all coming full circle there. And you were already sort of talking about the Supernatural album, man. So that dropped. I've been playing that on repeat, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yo,
video Dave said. I'm like, really? Okay. Like, I guess it's not that bad. It's like, it's funny to say, it's the album's growing on me. Like you'll hear I changed one or two things on one or two songs that I forgot to change, or I didn't feel comfortable recording a couple of hooks, because I felt like, man, I don't want to sound like everybody else. But then I spit the hook for Doc later, and he was like, kind of like we did with Third Islanders and Living. We were just like, all right, that's not on the album, but we're gonna spit that live. You know what I'm saying? So like, that happens to a lot of people. But I'm the more I hear it, the more comfortable I am with the album, and like I'm still like, I still can't get over like some of this dude's lyrics, man. This dude can really rap. Like Doc Watson's like MC's MC, so it's really impressive. I don't know if you got to hear it. So what do you think about the album, Novak? I'm very curious about your opinion. If it's cool to ask you questions, I don't know.
I've been talking to you and I got the mute on, man. I'm sitting there like, with Supernatural, like, bass, you could tell, you could hear the freestyle, you could hear the fact that you in the zone on that album. It's like you in a whole different like plane. You can hear Watson's production brings, like, it creates this imagery, and you hit that imagery like in route. That album, like when I listen to it in the car, I listen to a lot of people in the car. I got no Sage on, I got everybody on the car. And one thing about Chicago hip hop is that it's so creative, man, compared to like listening to hip hop from New York today, or listening to hip hop from other, like from other areas of the state. Supernatural is nice. I mean, like, it flows. It's one of those albums where you ain't got to stop a track to go pick up another track. Some albums you listen to two songs, you put it back, you turn it off, you go to the next album. No, your stuff flows, man. Like you listen to it. I could be working in my kitchen or something like that, because now I'm starting listening to music while I clean up, because I don't want to pay a maid service. So I'm cleaning my house and listening to Supernatural one day. My wife goes, "This is pretty catchy. Who is that?" "Oh, that's Crave." She goes, "From the podcast?" I'm like, "So you listen too?" So I found out my wife listened to that episode. She goes, "Man, that dude got some stories. Is that the guy from Sub T?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the dude from Sub T." Because she remember who you were. She used to go to Center Bar around the corner, the bouncer. But he can flow. I'm like, yeah, that's him. So my wife knows who you are. It's hilarious, man.
Wild. That's wild. I need all the friends I can get, because I'm losing a lot of friends from the comments I'm making on Twitter. So like, Twitter.
Hey, that's super hilarious. But yo, man, like, yeah, like Iowa Rockwell's production is on point as always. I agree with Novak. It's flowing. It's like it goes from one track to the next. You almost don't realize it's changing up on you. I'm surprised. Said, not that he wasn't saying it wasn't dope, but he was like sort of stepping back about the whole process of it all. I don't know if he was sort of overwhelmed, but he thought the whole experience with all three of y'all was definitely full on, and y'all like poured all your heart on it. And I'm like, yeah, man, like it feels like it. Y'all put like so much energy into it. Like the tracks that for me that kind of like ring out is the NFT track, because when I saw y'all perform that live, I was like, what the hell is going on right now?
That's what everybody said.
What the fuck is this?
Like, that's what everybody's been saying. Like, what the hell is happening? And I was holding back. Because I was like, the shoes actually make a lot of different colors, and and I had other stuff that lights up, and I was gonna put the mask on, and I had like a surprise like shirt on under the hoodie. I had on a shirt that matched the shoes, and I was like, you know what? I'll save all this for Reggie's or for a festival, if we get in a festival. And last minute, I just decided I'm not going to use all the colors on the shoes, and I'm not going to go full hard, because I don't want to shock everybody. I don't know if they're going to be ready, but I was like, but they're not even going to be ready for this. But yeah, like NFTs was going to be on my solo joint, which I just finished with Iowa, and I'm super excited. Like, this dude's beats are ridiculous. I feel like I want to play you guys some of it, like, but I don't know if that's kosher. But I just NFTs, like I couldn't find, nobody wanted to be on it with me. I asked, I don't want to name names because I'm not making fun of them. I'm not making fun of them at all. But there's one dude whose name is but his name has NFT in it, and he's an MC, and he's all right. But he helped me get my NFTs, which were recently stolen. So I'm kind of wary of crypto. But he helped me get my NFTs, and I was like, this dude raps. He knows a lot of people close to me that are really important to me. So I was like, yo, that's like, I like this guy. Like, let me get him on the album. I told Rockwell, and it's crazy. The day I told Rockwell, like, I want this one dude on my album, I was about to hit him up, and he hit me up while I was with Rockwell, and I'm like, this is insane. And he was live with a friend of mine who performed at my birthday party at the Promontory. And I was just like, wow, like, I want y'all on this track. And I sent both of them the track, and he said, I've been playing it in my crib, like, while I'm cooking. And my wife heard it, and she was like, who the hell is this? And he was like, it's Crave, you know, the artist I just did the NFTs with. And she was like, yo, he could really rap. And he was like, so I don't know if I could rap well enough to be on this joint. And I was like, are you serious? And so, like, I sent it to another MC who was always at Sub T, one of my favorites. Now this story is different. It's Novocaine. And I was like, well,
I know Novocaine.
I was like, he's dope. You know, like, I was always jealous of him because he would be with some girls that like don't know I rap. And so they would be like, Novocaine's the greatest. And I'd be like, I rap too, you know. Like, and they're like, nah, you're just a doorman, you know. And I'm like, no, I can rap, you know. And like, then he would get on the mic, and I'm like, this dude is no joke, man. Like, this dude is cold. So like, I never slept on Novocaine, and he apparently lives around here because I see him at every bar around this crib, my house. Like, I don't really go to these bars unless I'm picking up food or meeting somebody to pick him up. And he would be there, and he's like the life of the party. And I'm like, this dude is gonna be perfect on this track. And he wanted to do it, except it's crazy. He got a job the week we were supposed to start cooking and hitting the lab. Like, he's got Iowa's address, everything. And he was just like, I can't do it. Like, I work 9 to 5. And so we've been trying to get him in there, but he just hasn't had time. And as you were saying, like, Jason, like, I sacrificed, like, I called into work a lot to finish this album, and it really messed up my paychecks. So like, I put a lot into it, you know. But so we couldn't get Novocaine, and I hit up, I don't want to say their names, but I hit up 1 or 2 other MCs, and they were just like, I don't know if I can match your flow on it. So I was like, this is never gonna get done. We're at the lab, and I was like, Iowa and I are like, why not Doc Watson? And I was like, yeah, let's take it off my album, put it on Supernatural. And like, it just worked out perfectly. And we just finished my album last week. So everything came together perfectly with that track. And that track it's my favorite track on the album, because I don't care if I keep getting unfollowed. I've seen 13 UFOs. Plus that damn owl man everybody's talking about. I've seen that thing. Like, I've seen it. So like, the track is like, and Chicago is considered one of the most supernatural places in the world. 3rd most supernatural sightings in the world. I've seen so many UFOs in Chicago. It's not even funny anymore. It kind of makes me a little anxious. So like I had to make the track. Like this performance, I'm gonna go super hard with this track, like super hard. Like, I really didn't expect, man. No, Sage, when the audience started screaming the hook back to us, and we didn't even ask the audience for audience participation. And I got to talk to Doc about that, because like, I always told the Third Islanders, and then when we started the Umbrellas, I always told them, like, do not tell the crowd to move up to come to the stage. Do not tell the crowd to spit the hook back with us, call and response. I was like, yo, we are dope. Once we start rapping, after a couple verses, no matter where we are, people are gonna run to the front of the stage, and our hooks are so dope, like, no matter what happens, they're gonna spit the hooks back to us. And it's precisely what happened at Hairpin. And so I was like, this is happening just like I pictured it. And so like, it's my, sorry to ramble, it's my favorite track on the album. It's my favorite track. It sounds great.
I like Dirty Landing. Dirty Landing's nice, and I like other track on the Free Lunch. Free Lunch is hilarious.
Yes. We rehearsed. We've been rehearsing Free Lunch a lot because we both kind of fumbled through it. But yeah, they're those are mostly freestyles, but they're based on like personal experiences, and I'm hoping that could come through the album, like a lot of it, like I'm making like for the gym rats more cut up than their trainer. Like it's hilarious to me. Like I wish I had a better body. You know, I used to be in a gym a lot, and I still didn't have the body I wanted. Maybe I wasn't disciplined. Maybe it's my genetics, and like I'm looking at people like with these big fat trainers, and they're totally in shape, and I'm just like, I was always shocked. Like, what are you paying this person for? Like, just you need somebody to tell you what to do, like that, and that's really what it is. Like they just want somebody telling them what to do, and it's like, you're in great shape. Like, just do what they just showed you, do it by yourself. But like, so every line to me is based off of something that stuck with me, either like graffiti or in Golden Gloves boxing or working the door at like all these hip hop joints all over the city. This is mostly what the album's about to me. This is how I'm coming. That's where I'm coming from with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think every track has a story, like you said. Like, I think every track we could have a podcast discussion about. Like, the other two that I keep coming back to besides NFT is Gift of Flight and It's a Small World. But when you were just mentioning just a moment ago about like you don't want anybody to do call and response, you just want the crowd to react to stuff like that. Like, that reminds me, Doc Watson is also a perfectionist like that. Like, I think he has this rule, he doesn't like to do any covers when he performs live. So now, like, I'm thinking about you three in the lab, you, Doc, and Iowa, like, you all are perfectionists, and it feels like I feel like it's overwhelming, but it's like the perfect recipe. I'm glad y'all had no features other than Iowa in it, and I think it was like perfection, to be honest, man.
Yeah, Doc was he was adamant about that because I brought in a couple MCs and he didn't agree with them. he was just like and he's a very straightforward man. So he was like straight to their face, like, I don't think he belongs on this album, and I don't think it's gonna work. Like, I think it's just gonna be the two of us. And like we had one or two sessions where there's no recording. We are just critiquing each other and going over our thoughts of like how to present music and our philosophy of like hip hop. And so like I mean, we there were some points like when we like some of those sessions when we don't even plan on recording, they can go, people's feelings can get hurt, you know, people you know, like all three of us say things that the other two people don't agree with, but the one thing all three of us agree with is like we are doing this to whatever makes the music better, and it's for the betterment of the album and the performance, and it's out of like love and respect that we're being so critical of each other, and a discipline too, because you know, like, this ain't our first rodeo. So like we all of us have been through this before. So we want to make it also the best for the audience, and we have invested so much time into it. We don't want it to be half-assed. But yeah, feelings got hurt, you know, with making decisions on songs. But you know, at the end of the day, like, I had to swallow my pride and be like, oh, maybe this idea won't work, and it'll be better if for the group and for the album if we do this. And I'm glad that reflects for the listeners. Thank you for listening. Thank everybody for listening. I have like preset mental goals on how many numbers I want all our albums to do, and we're right there. So it could be better. We didn't do as great of job as marketing as we thought we could have earlier, but I feel like after this show, with the rest of the merch coming in, like I say in Gift of Flight, and our merch illest, you know, like to me, like as an artist, as a visual artist, also merch is a big part of the culture and the type of shows we do. That's how we're remembered and make any kind of money. So because all the money we make off the album we put into merch, because the goal is to get it on vinyl. So so we're grateful for anybody that listens, even for a second. And if you can ascertain that, like, you know, we were very critical of each other, then that I hope, and yet still let it flow. That's what really what we were going for. There were very few songs that like we took home and kind of worked on. Like it, like there's one or two, but most of them it was just like, man, like I have a philosophy with Iowa. Pardon me. Like Iowa's really deep, and like his creativity is also super visual, and so like he comes up with a name for whatever project he's working on, and then he tries to make it sound like the name. And so like I'll tell you right now, I haven't changed any titles. We barely change the titles of what his original beat was, and then he has a description. I can't be giving away all Iowa secrets because some of them are straight up like industry secrets. But this dude, he's methodic and he has a system. And so like, he's got mental notes on every track. And so like, you could ask him, like, what is this track about to you? And then you look at your lyrics and it's exactly what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't even told you like his notes. And it's after like you record, he'll be like, yeah, check this out. When I made this track, like I labeled it this and I called it this. And I'll be like, wow, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like he's very intuitive when he makes beats and when he titles them and when he's editing. So like a lot of the skits or stuff he'll add later, like in Dirty Linen, I believe, like I said, shout out to Troy McClure. you know, and so like I'll tell you guys a Dirty Linen story if we have like 2 minutes. Like
I want to hear this one.
Okay, so like I think one of our biggest fans, like Lauren, she goes by Lulu online, super cute, but she's like a big fan, big supporter, and she had these pictures up with her on her profile, and one was with Andy Dick, and I can't stand dude, and I think I got in a fight with him once at a bar. Like I think I might have kicked that dude out of Sub T, the actor Andy Dick. Some club, I'm pretty sure I kicked him out. He was just talking too loud and starting shit, and I'm like, get your celebrity ass out of here, you know? And I saw her, like, I saw his arm around her, and I edited it out on like a program, and I sent it back to her and cut him out the picture. And I was like, there, it's perfect now. And so we were joking about how much I hated him, and somebody brought up some really horrible things about him, like how he's such a bad person. And I'm like, I just got that feeling. That's why I kicked him out the club. And they were like, yeah, he's a jerk. And I heard he had I heard he was partially responsible for Phil Hartman being killed by his wife. And so I was like, fuck Andy Dick. And I was like, but I'm not gonna be like, fuck Andy Dick on my record. So and I don't want to get people depressed right before the song starts and be like, shout out to like Phil Hartman, R.I.P. Phil Hartman. I was like, maybe I could shout out Troy McClure. And so I, like, right, and a theme in for me in Supernatural is I shout out a bunch of people that inspired the song. So so I was like, shout out to Troy McClure. And then we just started going back in. I had already written my verses, and Doc was freestyling. And I'd written my first verse, and then Doc started freestyling, and we literally started battling in the lab. And Iowa was like, "Oh, you gonna let him talk to you like that?" And Iowa was like getting Doc super hyped, like damn, you gonna let him spit like that? You don't have nothing to come back with? And Doc was like, oh no, put that beat back on. And like that's literally us battling, like straight up battling each other. And like he started winning. So I'm like, yo, man, I got no problems, B. Like, yo, like he was coming so hard. I was just like, oh man, like, okay, let me just try to get out of this battle alive. I ain't never lost the battle. And this dude is like tearing me up like easily. Like 3 minutes later, he's done with his verse and he's like, what you got? And I was like, I got something. And so like Iowa was like laughing and instigating the whole thing. And then he sent us the song back. I didn't even think we were keeping it. And it had the intro with Troy McClure, and we went crazy. I was just like, this is perfect. And it inspired so much. Like it really got, because that to me, that was gonna be the last track. It was only gonna be a 6-album demo, and that was it. After Dirty Linen, we're done. And after Iowa like put that Simpsons like sample in the beginning, and it all came together. I was like, and I was like, this is one of the craziest songs I've ever done, like from start to finish. But that's that piece, as those poets say.
So you guys got in the studio, and you took him to a whole different level, man. He felt that energy and said, I got to step up and step out.
he was so charged when we made that song. Like, yo, he was so hyped. I really thought dude was gonna slap the shit out of me. I was like, this is going to be my Chris Rock moment right here. And by the way, like I wrote that Chris Rock joke like before the slap in NFT, and like Pookie and Chris Rock. Like I wrote that was for my album, which is supposed to come out a year ago, and we decided to push it back for Supernatural. I mean, we've been pushing it back. So like that song, like that verse has been there, but yeah, there was a lot of energy for Dirty Linen, and like I feel like Iowa knew that, and like we needed a high amount of energy because that bass line is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad that you shared that sparring story with you and Doc Watson and Iowa Rockwell instigating as a ref, because like I feel like you actually, all three of y'all are like probably the most musical cats that I know personally, and I was sort of shocked to only see sort of like actually two sing-songy hooks, like one that Doc did on Small World, and I think you had a sing-songy hook too. And that's why, like back in the Third Islander days with you and me, like you would always come with a singing hook as Captain Hook. But like I now get an inside glimpse that y'all actually were like sparring out with like the bars, and y'all just had to match that energy like that.
Yeah, we were gonna sing more. It's something I battle with. Like I got more work with Iowa. Hopefully dropping. I'm singing the whole project, believe it or not. And I don't even know if I'm gonna go by Crave with that, because I took a poll like in 2013. Like I hung out with a lot of women that year, and I was and like one instance like of me hanging out with a lot of women, it was literally that. It was like an Aquarius party, and these women that were all Aquarians and a couple other zodiac signs, there were like 9 of them. They were consistently inviting me and just this other one dude who was an Aquarius, who coincidentally lived in one of the buildings that I was a landlord at, because I was landlording at several buildings, including Rockwell's back then. And dude lived in Rockwell's building coincidentally. And so I'd seen him around, and I thought these women wanted to have an orgy. And they told me that he'd done it when I like the next time that they all got together and I didn't show up. They're like, you should have come because we all had sex together. And I'm like, what? Like, but I took a poll before I dropped an album that I never dropped, actually, because I took a poll like, do you find and I played them some of the music, and they were like, it's R&B, and I'm like, yeah. And they were just like, sounds gay. And I was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean? And these are like super earthy, like you would think like super progressive women, like all like about like natural, organic, and LGBTQ, and they were just like, yeah, it's not attractive when men sing. It's not masculine, and I was just like, what the hell? So like the next week, I didn't drop my album, and I was hanging out with them, and they're like, why didn't you drop your album? And I was like, you know, I'm singing on a lot of it, and I don't want people to interpret me as feminine, like, it's ain't no Love Below. Like, I mean, it was a lot like the Love Below. Not that inspired me. I started making my album at the same time, and I just never released it. And so it was a lot like the Love Below. And they were just like, yeah, like, and then I was like, well, I did an album where I'm mostly singing, and they're like, oh, but you're an Aquarius, it doesn't matter. And I was like, y'all are crazy. Y'all are fucking insane. Like, so Iowa and I have been working on an album with me singing a lot, but we didn't know if it really fit on this one because we wanted people to like concentrate on the hard bars we were coming with. But the next couple albums I'm dropping, there's a lot more singing, and I'm gonna play a lot of instruments on top of the next couple albums. Like I'm gonna lace a lot of violin, keyboards, guitar. I started playing guitar and drums like a year ago, and I've been for about a year I've been rehearsing steadily, playing guitar and drums, and I started another band. And crazy thing is, speaking of Doc's musicality, we recorded 12 tracks with my other band, and Doc came through to the studio for the last session after a year of recording. A year. This dude came through to the studio, and the 3 tracks that he played bass on and I'm playing keys are the best 3 tracks on the whole album. And so I'm like, yo, you need to do another album with me. He's like, no, I'm focused on rapping right now. And yeah, I gotta concur with you. Like, Iowa and Doc are some of the most musical people I know. That like, I've never, I like, it's crazy because, you know, I've known Iowa so long, and when we first started all this, he wasn't our main producer. It was as you know, Sage, it was currently Video Dave. He goes by Video Dave now, but back then he was Max Decibels, and Surfboard C back then was known as before it was Super Toy. He was a Concept Ali, and they made most of our first beats. And then Iowa got into the game like shortly after, and now I gotta say he's making beats for all of us, which is crazy. And like, then it's next level. But people think that I'm being biased because, you know, the relation and us rocking together for so long. But like years I didn't record with him, and I didn't record with a lot of people, and I was producing my own stuff for years, and I didn't release everything, but so like as a producer and as an MC and as a musician who plays like multiple instruments, these dudes' musicality is undeniable. Like they're at the top, and it's not just their skill and talent and technique. It's their philosophy to music, like the thought they put into it naturally, and their research. Like, it's like Iowa Rockwell to me, like without question, like is one of the best producers in Chicago, and Doc Watson to me is like one of the best MCs, and I think that's due to how they approach music overall. You guys got to cut me off if I'm saying too much.
Hey,
No, I'm just vibing, man. I mean, you're telling great stories, man. I mean, you know, Rockwell's sound, man, it's incredible. It makes you envious. Like, what is that like in the studio with him? I mean, like, you know, when you work with other producers, I mean, this guy seems to put you right where you want to be every time you're in the studio with him. Every
time, the dude can, like, if you get stuck with lyrics, he reminds you, like, inadvertently, like, I'm also a great MC. And so, like, there'll be like every 1 or 2 songs, I'm like, I don't know how to finish this song. Like maybe 3 or 4 songs. There's at least 3 songs on this album and on my other projects where he wrote the last couple lines. And like Gift of Flight, Dirty Linen, it's just like you get stuck and he has the perfect lines for you. He knows what MCs are thinking, because he was an MC so long, and he's been around musicians his whole life. Everybody in my family but Rockwell got music lessons. His dad was pushing him into sports. So like everybody got music lessons. So this is a dude who comes home and like he's like, you know, he comes home and we're not going to the basketball court, but everybody's playing an instrument around him. And he's like, I remember. So he's just sitting there looking and listening, and he looked kind of sad a lot. But you know, little did he know, but he knew we were all envious of him the minute he got on a basketball court or the minute he put a baseball glove on. Like, there's not a sport that dude can't play or coach. You know, he's just he's a super athlete. You know, like he could have gone pro in anything, really, but like he loves music that much, and no one really got it, no one in the family. But like he told us, man, I've been paying attention to all y'all my whole life, listening. And so like, you know, we grew up playing classical music, man, like, and singing opera, like real talk. Like that's what our parents wanted us to do. Like Iowa Rockwell's dad had a Bill Cosby type of jazz library, you know what I'm saying? Like, like it was like the biggest room in the house was not, like, let me put it this way. Iowa Rockwell's dad loved music at one point in his life so much that he and his wife didn't sleep in the master bedroom. That's where he kept his records. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
like, and like they couldn't go anywhere else. That's how many records this man had. And so like this dude was surrounded by music since birth. And then like for him to, and he's got like other secret techniques. He really studies it, and No Sage could tell you when you get to his lab, like you take a look at his library, like his head's in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like he immerses himself with it when he's not making music. He's learning and researching and trying new things. So like his sound is always fresh, but like just his approach to MCs, it's really next level. I've been rapping since third grade. That's when I first got on stage to perform, you know, and that's when I started making beats and rapping. It's third grade. And this dude has that sensitivity to it. He was there, and he understands, like since I've been rapping that long, I've been around musicians and engineers and producers, and I've recorded with, like, I was telling Iowa this. I told him this just maybe 2 weeks ago. Like, I've recorded with like maybe 20 different producers in Chicago. And like, not too many of them are garbage. You know, like at the level of rapping I am, I really want somebody dope. And like, it's like, I can't pay anybody anymore. And I can't work with too many other producers anymore because they're just not on his level. And so like I'm sacrificing quality now in the experience and in the product. And it's like you give Iowa Rockwell B material and he's gonna give you an A song. You know what I'm saying? You give him an A song, he's gonna give you an A+ track back. So yeah, it was like it was crazy. Like one of my favorite producers on the whole thing with Iowa Rockwell. Like I'd been to his lab and we talked about working on some stuff. I went with Yams, the other cat that I was working with before we went to task. We were freestyling. We were like, hey, we got something. So we freestyled in front of a couple people that came over to his crib while we were doing some events, and people were like, you guys are like the opposite of bad. Like, it's shocking. You guys, like, y'all are painters and we're here to look at your artwork, but y'all are freestyling better than the MCs that are here. And we were just like, yeah, this is crazy. And so this one producer, Task, heard us freestyling, and he was like, y'all want to come to the lab? And I was like, you got a lab? But I've recorded what I'm trying to say, I recorded with a lot of producers in Chicago, and none of the experiences match this level of skill and quality and discipline and creativity and flexibility. He's like some producers, I don't know if y'all have been through this, but they're like, nah, you can't have this, you can't have these tracks, like, or you record on something and you never hear it again. It goes in their vault, and like, or some producers are just like, and these are really talented dudes. Some dudes that maybe are on his level of sound, like you get in the lab and you're super uncomfortable, and they're like, you got your shit memorized? And it's like, I don't even know what we're gonna do yet. And they're like, you don't have, oh shit. That was my low battery warning.
Well, yeah, I was actually gonna cut back to the last topic because I actually have to leave in a sec. But I definitely want to say a quick word about Iowa Rockwell because we are gonna have him on a podcast. You just triggered a memory for me, bro, because like we were both on the same basketball team at one point, and he was class of '99, I was class of '97, and it was senior night, and I got to start. And I probably got like less than a minute a tick. And then here comes Iowa Rockwell and the A squad to scoop us out. You know what I'm saying? So yes, he was definitely always coming with the game on any type of court surface. True indeed. The last topic I wanted to touch on, bro, because it's like, I remember y'all family, I think Iowa and Video Dave had a dog at one point, like named Five Dog. And I always just remember like the affection y'all had, and like even like in your rhymes, I think you always try to throw Fife in there whenever you can.
Yeah, thank goodness he named him Fife, but not Tyson. I wanted to name him Tyson. Looked like a boxer mix, but the dog reacted to Fife better, I think. But yeah, I'd had a lot of dogs before, and that was definitely the best, even though I didn't do the greatest job with them at some times. But my brother left me with him, so it was a bond between us that sometimes didn't go great. But the dog was just, it started acting like a person at one point. Like he thought he was people, and like the dog, like I know it sounds campy because we'd had dogs before, but this dog was like a family member. We had 6 dogs before that for different periods of time, and this one became like family immediately. And we have another one that kind of reminds me of Fife, but it's still like a crazy dog. Fife was like a homie that you could hang out with at most of the time. And so like, I'm so glad he named him that. And I can shout him out in a lot of rhymes and make it rhyme. And if you don't know me, you assume I'm talking about Tribe, which is all good because I got mad love for Tribe. Mad love, we pattern ourselves after them. And but at the same time, if you know me, you know I'm talking about my dog, I don't want to get like super emotional. I was gonna say the dog, just being able to shout him out. It's like it takes me back to the times where we were making music and the dog was around. It's a little centering, but I don't believe in pets, and I stopped getting dogs after a certain point, and we made an exception for that dog because it was more like a person, and like that's really what convinced me. Oh, we're gonna keep this one, I guess, because he's acting like he knows us like a human being, but yeah, it works out great in the rhymes too, I forgot what point I was gonna make with that. Oh well.
No, yeah, like that's dope that you're mentioning about the dog because I always assumed it was Five Dog, the rapper, but I didn't realize how deep it went with y'all and Fife the pet. I do remember in the studio too. Yeah, Fife was always like in lurking behind the scenes too. So it's kind of dope.
And before, like a lot of people were already hip to Tribe. And Tribe actually, I have cousins, and a lot of people don't know my mom's side of the family is from New York, like it's multiple boroughs. I've got cousins that grew up next door to Biggie, like next door, and Mobb Deep, and like most of my family in New York is from Flatbush and Avenue J. And if you know New York hip hop, Yeah, you know, that's the epicenter of hip hop in one part of New York. I got family in the Bronx and Long Island, and my family from Long Island, they grew up next to Fife and them. So like there's a deep connection to that when I shout out the Brooklyn stuff, like and refer to Fife Dog, but I still can't remember what I was gonna say about it. But you know, when it's like a little thing we do, because when No Sage, Iowa, and I were auditioning to get signed by this local Chicago label, we did a song and we shouted out Iowa's dog at the time, Magic, and people would have thought, people assume we're talking about Magic Johnson, you know, and so and it was actually his dog. So like it really works out. It just worked out perfectly with those two dogs. Those dogs ended up hating each other, Fife and Magic. That's funny. They lived together for a while. We had to separate them. They were homies at first, but it didn't work out. But
that's dope. So yeah, I apologize. I do gotta roll out, but Novek, I'm gonna let you close this out whenever you can.
Word.
Yeah, great, man. Definitely want to thank you for coming through, man. That Fife story, man, is awesome. I mean, I know I was a dog person like that too. When you lose a few of them, it's hard to go get another dog because you got these memories from the other dog, and I don't care what the new dog do, you want the old dog back. It's
Right.
It's hard to get over animals, man. But you know, man, thank you for coming on, man. We definitely got to get you. We're gonna get you in Iowa on the show together. That's the one I want to see. I want to see that magic. So you guys tell us some studio stories, man. I definitely want to see that happen.
Word. We got a show that's on. It's pretty much Iowa Rockwell Fest. It's gonna be June 24th on Iowa and Rockwell in Chicago. So
really?
So yeah, maybe we could. We're gonna be working on that set. As soon as we're done with Reggie's, we're gonna get to work on that show. So I would love to like be on there and talk about future projects and more dog stories. Like it's funny, those dogs weren't allowed in the lab after a while just because of dog fur, but they were always around, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming on, man. And yeah, definitely. This show will be up real soon. You know, check us out with podcasts available. And if you go out there, listen to something dope today. Go out there, you know, pet your animal, love your animal today, and have a good day, man. All right,
Same.
peace.
Thanks, Novak. Peace.
Right.
Thanks for listening. Hey, y'all need to follow me because I'm losing followers. Not y'all, but the people listening to this podcast. Y'all should follow me, Crave Chicago, because I'm getting hated on.
We got you, man. We got you. We're gonna bring the followers, man.
Word.
All right. Peace, man.
Peace.